How's she going today, guys? Well, we're out here touching up these few dead spots from that frost. I'm just going around on the quad here ahead of Antoine, deciding where it's too thin or too thick, or too thin to leave, so seeded, or thick enough to let the canola grow. So he has an idea where to run the wing that way. You can see there's lots of canolas there, but then you come up here and there's next to none right up close to the creek where it froze the hardest. So this is pretty good there. You can see we sowed there, so there's quite a few of them there, and then all of a sudden there's none again. So we'll just kind of dip in and out and around here, and might take an extra 10 minutes to swath this with the big swather when we cut the canola, but that is all right. So anyway, I'm going to keep ahead of them here, marking out where I want them to go, and I'll make some more video when we get this headland done. Then he'll know where he's got to go, and I can make some more video that way of them. So I had a few people ask why we don't just seed canola back in here where things are thinned and froze out like that. The biggest reason being it's the 12th of June, so you missed that window by a solid 12 days where you'd, probably be able to get away with sowing that late with canola. So if a guy did it now, this 6 to 10 acres we're gonna have here would be 3 weeks. About 3 weeks later than the rest of the field. So that brings on a whole host of issues in itself. You'd have canola in two very, very different stages. The first stuff would be high time to be swathed, and this would still be trying to flower. So you'd have this cut and combined before this would be ready to be cut. So you'd have to cut it and leave it for 3 weeks to ripen before you could harvest it. And if it was 3 weeks later than this, when it gets combined, will be in September, about the 5th or so of September, maybe a bit later, the 10th. And you would be 3 weeks past that, so that brings us into October. There's not really much for drying weather at the end of September, beginning of October in this country. It's cool out, and it's not, the days are real short. It just wouldn't work out. You would have such a flip-flop disaster of things going on in here. So that's the biggest reason. It's just way too late to be able to seed canola and get away with it. It's way too late to just about seed anything that you'd want to harvest. Like, you might get away with oats, but it would be just trying to fill there in the heat of the year, and it wouldn't be a very good harvest sample. It'll make fine green feed, but it won't be a good harvest sample. The next thing is, people, I use insurance and reseed it. Well, insurance here will only cover half of your seed your second time around. So I'd only need probably 2 bags. I have some left yet, but there's no point, because as I said, it's way too late to be seeding it in the first place. So this is going to work out a hell of a lot better than dicking around trying to seed canola and ending up with a piss poor sample and not yielding worth a shit. It wouldn't pay. This will pay better than trying to reseed canola. But everyone's got a big wave that goes by because they know the pain that's going on here right now. Everyone's been through it, so. But this will pay out a lot better. It costs $175 an acre with your fuel, fertilizer, seed, and chemical to seed canola in this part of the country. It might be different in other places, but here that's what it costs us. And then if you got 40 bushel canola and you sold it for 10 bucks a bushel, which this year is kind of what it's looking like. Things aren't worth a shit right now, but easy math, there's 400 bucks an acre gross income off of that. So if it costs you $175 an acre and you get 400 back, that's what now? $325 you'd have. We'll write that here so we don't forget. 325. So you got 325 bucks ish. But that's not figuring out fuel in combines and parts and repairs, but this is just some pretty loose leaf math here. So I'd come back and seed again. It'd be $60 an acre for seed. Oh, Antoine's phone, and I'll come back to this conversation in a second. You remember that tire there when we cleaned it out that was leaking around the valve stem? It's getting low on air, so I'll have to go grab the service truck in a minute, was all Antoine wanted. But so I figured it out here. If you sowed canola again now, 3 weeks later, you'd be easy 15 bushels an acre less that it would yield. So that would be $150 an acre less. So that'd bring you down to $175 you'd make an acre. So you remember the first time seeding costs $175 an acre your first pass. So you'd be buying another $1,200 worth of seed, so that's another $60 an acre. So you'd be losing your $60 an acre basically. You could not win by seeding canola on these froze oat spots. So by seeding oats here, this is costing $13.50 an acre, or $13 an acre in seed, $6.50 a bushel times 2 bushels an acre. And a normal crop of green feed, you could expect to get 2 bales an acre at $100 a bale, because it's things aren't shaping up to be much of a hay crop around here this year. So feed is going to be in high demand and there's going to be a low supply of it. So you'd get $200 an acre minus your 175, and 13 would be 180, what now, 188 bucks ish. And then fuel, try and add that in there, it'd be you'd be $190 an acre. So in theory, I should clear $10 an acre here by sowing these, and that's if it only goes 2 bales an acre. I mean, it could go 3, it could go 2.5. So we will we'll see how things turn out here, anyways. But anyway, we're gonna get this seeded up here and we'll talk to you in a bit. It was getting low, but it wasn't flat, and then all of a sudden I heard pew! Plunk, 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 plunk. So she finally ruptured the old rotten tire. Didn't like getting ran low, I guess. So we're gonna go rob a tire off of something, as it's the same bolt pattern in the elevators. So we'll go rob a tire from it and we'll try and get this greasy fucking horror show finished with. Look at the nice rows of cannolis. What do you think about your cannolis? You gonna come out here and broadcast oats on all of it? No? No. Yeah, I don't think there's much to be concerned about over here with the rest of it. It's just that bit at home there down by the creek where it froze real hard, I guess. Be there's a few spots that are a hair thin, but that's just to do with how fucking dry it is right now. Look at them there though. Lots of canolas. Big money, Antoine. Hollywood. So what is it they say? Plant in the dust and your bins will bust. To give you an idea of the conditions we're dealing with here this year. How dried out everything is, but we are putting them in moisture. We gotta go about 2 inches down to find it. But anyway, he's on his second pass over it. There's, we had extra seed. There's just shy of 10 acres that we'd sown. This corner here and that strip along the road, but so it'll be sown at 4 bushels an acre there, some of it, but whatever. I mean, it's dry, and we'll just guarantee we're gonna have something turn out that way by having some extra seed in the ground, I guess. But so we drove around there and looked at all the other, there are other 500 and some acres of canola, and this is the only stuff here that has stuff missing, is in this field here by the creek, this 30-odd acres here. So whatever, it could have been a hell of a lot worse, so we'll leave it at that for now. We're gonna get that finished up and brought back to the yard, and then I'm gonna flock off here because Amanda's been gone to school all week and the kids are starting to miss her and she's starting to miss them. So we're gonna go there for the night, stay at the hotel where she's staying, go swimming I guess, and come home tomorrow. And they're calling for rain and everything else. Hopefully it's true, and it'll be time for spraying peas when we get back. So anyway, that's where I'll leave all you guys for now. We had a couple videos back to back, but I wanted to cover all of what was going on here with this. So anyway, I guess we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, and we'll talk to all you guys here in the next one.